Like Grandma.
Hello, Dottie. It's me, Pee-wee.
Where are you calling from?
Texas.
Where?
Honest. Listen, I'll prove it.
The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Wait, don't hang up.
Welcome to the Inside Integration Podcast. We are coming at you live from Lightapalooza 2025. We're in between sessions right now. Figured we'd had a couple of minutes and we'd bang this out real quick.
Yeah. Our first foray into non-affiliated podcasting and video podcasting. So if you don't know, this has been spun off into our own little thing. We're not going to be beholden to any employers, vendors, or otherwise, really just here to talk shop and chop it up as we do in day-to-day business and day-to-day conversations with our friends out there. You all. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.
And you know me, I'm Chris. You know Jayson. That's Jayson.
I'm Jayson.
And we have joining us again is Jesse.
We're unaffiliated, so they invited me back.
Well, I mean, we couldn't have you, trashing our good name with all of your witticisms and quirks and all of your actual, knowledgeable points and common sense. It's really more about towing the company line. So now that we don't have a line to toe, at least on this podcast, we can do whatever we want.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Exactly.
Sitting around a pirate ship. And
Dude,
Yeah.
you got to have at least one long beer.
Somebody's got to have a beard around here.
We should have grabbed those two plants over there and between two ferns.
So what's the we're through a day of this. We've been doing trainings all day. What is your favorite training so far that you've been a part of?
So far, intro to DMX, because I knew nothing about it. Prior to being a rep, the only lighting experience I have is control, and it was always Lutron. So trying to understand the actual technical behind lights, whether it's a fixture or things like CRI and DMX universes and stuff like that. That to me was pretty valuable because until that session got sabotaged by idiots asking stupid questions, it was very good.
Was the Rough Riders? Did the Rough Riders roll in and shut down your DMX training?
Well, the guy started talking about his brother's place in Manhattan, so it was a personal question, which I would advise you wait till the class is over. Maybe the guy's got a few minutes. You can go one-on-one.
You can name and shame that dealer. If you,
I don't know who. It was just some guy sitting in front of me. Gerald and I was just some guy sitting in front of me. I have no idea who the guy was. I just wanted to tell him to shut the fuck up. But yes, other than that, that was good. That was
that's one of the perils of training. Like, who hasn't sat in one of these training classes and it's like,
Just
what do you want? What do you want now, Murray? Like,
Yeah.
that's not anybody specific.
Nobody specific. Having led a few trainings in my day, you could pick them out. When you're in the front of the room, you're like, nope, don't. Yeah, steer to the side, steer to that side. Just okay. He's the only guy with his hand up. You, and then then it comes. It's like, well, I've got this project that I'm working on, and I'd really like to get your input on it in front of the whole class.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Really not super valuable. So any of you that are out there, you listen to this, you go to a convention and you're in a classroom full of people, just think about the words before they come out of your mouth.
Well, there's that guy, right? There's the humble brag guy. That's definitely a part of this whole thing. And once you've stood in front of a room of people, like once you've done it a couple of times, you kind of get a feel for who's whatever. But even when you're in a class, like you can play bingo with the folks who are in the class, right? You got your humble brag guy. You've got your I'm going to try and ask you a gotcha question because you're the company the company that you worked for wronged me in some way years ago. So I'm going to try and make you look bad in front of 50 people.
I've definitely dealt with that gotcha guy.
You've got the guy who can do no wrong in his own life whatsoever. So whatever suggestion you give him is, no, that's not going to work. Well, maybe you need to try and look here. Oh no. Well, have you done that? No, I just know it's not. Okay, guy. We got it.
Or the guy that thinks he knows more than the presenter and tries to make him look bad. Like,
here, why don't I get up and teach this class? Why don't you? Hey, here's a clicker. knock yourself out, bud.
Just sit down,
Peace out.
finish the rest
I
of it.
had a few of those over the years where I was just like, do you want to teach this class? Because here's the remote, buddy. I know you've never seen the slide deck before, but you'd be fine.
Yeah,
Should be no problem. Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't mean to try to take over. Yeah, you kind of did.
Yeah, you did.
You walked into it with that intent. I understand. It's fine. Whatever.
You can't help yourself. It's fine.
Yeah, don't. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was in the same class as Jesse. I'm a neophyte when it comes to the lighting world. I understand that, how it works. There's signals and there's grouping and numbering and addressing and all that stuff. So I didn't have any issue with that. But as far as the technical beats of like, hey, this is a 10-channel fixture, the first 10 addresses in your series of things is going to be for that one fixture. You can have 20 fixtures that all look the same, but every one of those addresses is going to do the same thing on every one of those devices. So just kind of unwrapping that in my head and just sort of understanding like how the number scheming works and, dynamic drivers versus single color and all that stuff. Like those lights, pardon the pun, came on for me a little bit in that session. It was, I think, for anybody, you don't know what you don't know. And that was certainly helpful and, should hopefully make me a little bit better at being a resource for folks that are using this kind of stuff.
well, it's hard to pick up, especially it's good that you guys took that class because that is definitely something that is, even if you're kind of tangentially associated with lighting, right? Like you understand what a circuit is. You know how, okay, all these hi-hats are on one circuit. It doesn't quite make sense to say, all right, it's the same data line, but the outside ones have one address and then the inside ones have another address. But then this address is going to control the R, and this one's going to control the G. This one's going to brightness, or you got 5 addresses because you got warm white or whatever. Like, yeah, all that stuff. Like, until you start like messing around with it, it's a tough concept, and it's unique in residential.
And I think it comes down to the every question that you ever wanted to ask but were afraid to ask it. Like, at least for me, that's kind of how that class filled in the gaps for me. I was like, oh, okay, yes, all comes from stage lighting. This all comes from that world. That makes a lot of sense. And if it's robust enough for that, it makes sense that you can execute that now.
Yeah, and it is really powerful, right? Because it changes the way you wire projects and everything else. And like that's what Lightapalooza is all about. Is that if you're a residential integrator and you don't know what DMX is or you've heard it at a lighting meeting, that you're in the right place,
Here's
right?
Grow your business. We talked about that on other shows. Our trade shows worth it.
For this kind of stuff?
This one, I think, probably checks that box.
Yeah, I mean, the food, not worth it.
Yeah, it depends on where you're going.
4 miles between where you're staying and the conventional, probably also not worth it.
All in the same building, then.
The brisket last night, though, I mean, absolutely.
That was worth it.
Yeah,
What was that place? Ferris Wheelers?
Ferris Wheelers. So
An actual Ferris wheel in the backyard.
It is a very side of the road carnival kind of vibe from the outside, which plays well to the barbecue theme, in my opinion. Like, I may actually be thinking about going before we leave.
Well, now that we brought it up.
Because it wasn't like, although
was so bad.
I'm still suffering. Yeah, well, lunch was really bad here, but I'm still suffering through the meal that I had last night because, as all things barbecue and fatty, there's a long tail on some of those things. Not to make it too nasty, but there's a processing time.
No,
It's got an expiration date.
I'm past that. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm past that point where I'm ready to re-up on my fat and cholesterol levels because
Extra time.
the wet brisket last night was okay.
I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the waffle fry nachos, like,
Yeah. So, I mean, this ties
Might have been my favorite part.
Yeah, this ties into like our food discussions, right? Like when you travel around, what are you going to have when you're in town? What are you going to eat? We've already talked about trying to get a Buc-ee's run in for a barbecue sandwich.
I feel like we have to.
I mean,
Just to be at Buc-ee's.
I did
Where's the
a.
closest Buc-ee's?
It's about a 35-minute drive from here because
You already did.
they're all there. I mapped it out.
Not between us and the airport, right? No, outside of.
So it's like they're strategically placed on all of the major arteries into and out of the city of Dallas, but not inner city.
No.
So yeah, as we head out of town, I think we can actually get to a Buc-ee's and then go to the airport, so I'm okay with that.
Would it be worth to just change all of our flights to we all fly out of San Antonio and hit?
I was kind of looking into a rental car here at the hotel just to see if I could get a Hertz.
I had that thought earlier.
Could I just rent a car and
Just take a field trip.
I mean, it's my money.
Yeah.
You know, I can do what I want. I'm a big boy, right?
This is an independent podcast now.
You're an adult.
It's like,
Yeah, we can do it.
we're just rolling. Why don't you we'll have our pilot come.
So are Buc-ee's truck stops, is that where they're outside the city? Because I know very little about it. I know I even have friends in Alaska wearing Buc-ee's t-shirts.
Yeah, it's a
It
thing.
was trendy a couple years ago, right? But it's
Never go out of style.
as far as
No such
like
thing as being
like everyone knowing about Buc-ee's, right? Like everyone's got the squirrel t-shirt, or chipmunk, or whatever.
Well, it's a beaver, so let's get that out of the way.
Okay, thank you. Just
the Canadian is very offended by the woodland mammal.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, do not besmirch a woodland rodent in front of me with a paddle tail ever.
but it's just their head. And I live in a state.
They're industrious creatures. Majestic even.
The state I live in has a beaver on the state flag.
Right.
I didn't know it was a beaver. Okay, Buc-ee's. Now it makes more sense to see.
I've heard people say that. I didn't know it was a beaver before. Ticket this full hotel. I heard that.
Well,
Yeah.
I've heard like my kids go to school and they have their Buc-ee's gear and the kids are like, "Oh, I like your Boosie's t-shirt." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Well, that doesn't sound right."
I also didn't know how it was spelled until recently when I saw it. Maybe it was when I was here. It's like BUC apostrophe.
It's BUCCE apostrophe S.
The fuck is that?
But yeah, so it is the
Why?
largest truck stop. Like
Yeah.
going to this place, it's 100 pumps. It's 50 checkout lines. It's
It's like a
let's go.
it's that big.
Oh, it's
Because I've been to some interesting truck stops.
the Costco Walmart size building of
Yeah.
snacks,
Gas
massage
pumps,
chair.
the entire width of the front of the building, and maybe 2 banks deep, or maybe 3 banks deep.
Okay, that's huge because I've been to some weird truck
That's legit.
stops where you can get TVs, fireworks, DVDs,
Yeah, yeah.
clothing, but it was the size of a 7-Eleven.
Right. So unlike Oregon, where you can go in and get like chain mail and like a flail and a Morning Star and a rape kit and like all of the things that you really are like, why are these available here? They don't have any of that at Buc-ee's, but they do have like towels and shirts and pants and tchotchkes and toys and whatever you want. They have a I would say a gallery, but it's
I've heard you could buy kayaks.
you can, and they have a
Anything you
beef
might
jerky.
need for your trip.
Yeah.
It's like home goods if your home is the back of the
Is it
tractor
just a
trailer.
Texas thing? Or is it?
There's a couple more around, but it's mainly a Texas.
It is.
Yeah, like they're in
Texas.
Florida, they're in Louisiana,
Texas,
there's some
Arkansas,
other,
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're making inroads into other markets, and I don't know how this became the Buc-ee's podcast, but that's the fact that we are beholden to no one means that we're just going to talk.
We're gonna
shit
try to get
and
to one.
Go wherever it goes. It just
What are you gonna do? Not subscribe to your channel?
We started. Yeah, Lightapalooza
On your
is
channel
cool.
at Inside Iteration.
Right. You're not going to follow us on Instagram anymore at _.
You're not gonna leave a comment.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Oh no.
Make it part of your routine. But
There you go.
yeah, again, I was thinking of all the fun things that we can do while we're here. As we travel, you try to take in a little bit of the local color, a little bit of the local flavor. I think Ferris Wheelers checked that box last night a little bit, and then I mean the whole assassin droid full of margarita was kind of weird. Maybe we can put a picture of that up. So.
Our first margarita machine broke, so what we did was we made more margaritas and we put it into a tower and just brought it over to the table so everybody can enjoy.
So there you go.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, one.
You win. Total on a bill was $22 a person or something. The best.
Yeah. So
I had a friend request a belt buckle. I'm going to Dallas. He's like, dude, get me a belt buckle. But
I wonder if they sell them in a gift shop.
I haven't checked.
They have
But I'm sure Buc-ee's has
Hilton
belt buckles.
Honors. Yeah, Buc-ee's has every flavor.
Give me a big fuck off Dallas belt buckle. Like,
okay.
well, if we get out of the hotel, by the way, this hotel's
I
ginormous.
was just about to say,
Big compound.
it's if you get a chance to go to conventions or events like that, when you see them in buildings like the Renaissance or the Gaylord, you should go just to see just to see how industrious human beings are. Like we were talking about the Gaylord earlier, like
It's an anthill. It really is a human anthill.
like Gaylord Palms in Orlando is like they just were like, okay, we're going to put a wall, quarter mile over there, and we're going to put another half a mile over here, and then we're going to put a roof over it, and there's your hotel.
What a beautiful piece of nature.
Yeah.
Let's enclose it.
Exactly. Let's put alligators indoors, because that's where alligators are.
Anthill. I like it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I was looking.
Close it and charge people to come inside and see this.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah, I was looking
Nothing
forward to
more-
like, oh, the show we're going to is the hotel we're staying at. Cool. We don't have to go far.
No, it's
Not true. We still have to go far.
several miles a day. This guy always.
Within the hotel, yeah. So, yeah, if that's not clear, we haven't left the building really. We're just still within the same, square block of where we're at. But yeah, it's fun to see what this place is like. It is huge. There's a Top Golf here. There's a water park here. Apparently, there's a full-on arcade here.
Yeah,
I did see that on one of the signs.
So, I mean, I'm going to go play some Pac-Man a little bit later.
It's 20
have pinballs.
degrees. So it's a good thing everything is inside, because it is 20 degrees in Dallas. We didn't get any of the snow that the rest of Texas did and is freaking out about, but 20 degrees in Dallas is weird. Like, that is really cold for these folks.
Unexpected.
It plays against type pretty badly, right? Like, it's just not a good. I was hoping for warm. Like, it is sunny out, so I'll give it that. I'm happy to see the flaming ball of sun. It's not something we see a lot in the Pacific Northwest this time of year. So,
Although it's sunny there right now because we're here.
yeah, exactly. No, my wife sent me a note today. She's like, "It's beautiful here today." Cool.
Yeah, my wife's like, I called in sick to go hiking with a friend. It's nice here.
Oh, yeah, never going to call me.
Right.
Send me a note.
It's
I don't think you're.
blocker. Oh, yeah.
And my response was, good for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, what about you, man? You've been to some different trainings than we've been to. What did you see here so far? What did you like?
So I did. So far, I've been doing all. I feel like I've been through all the tech stuff. I went down that road with lighting a couple of times and dealt with it from a support side. So I kind of know all that stuff. But I did the Jayson saying thing about planning your business and getting into things, and that was really great. If you ever have the opportunity, I know we plug him on the show a lot. Jayson saying is great. He is just kind of a thought leader and has this way of making processes and stuff that can really make your business a lot more efficient. I wanted to take these things just to see what I could bring, what things of his I could bring into our new larger organization, and, just kind of help dealers with advice. Hey, maybe I'll give you this little nugget or whatever. So I did that. I did the Ron Callis, the Ron Callis One Firefly marketing thing. That was a pretty good hour. There were it was an hour, so it kind of blew through it,
Great team over there, though, right? Like,
Great team. They really, huge team, like massive.
yeah.
team.
Shout out to Jessica.
Yeah,
Love
absolutely.
you.
Something like 650 dealers or something like that is who they're in, and just doing great stuff over there. But this was how to direct your marketing and what to look for, and I thought it was a really good primer for. That's what I do here every day. But just for dealers who are looking to do something, kind of got into Google AdWords a little bit and AdSense, and how to look at, how to see where your traffic is coming from and kind of tailor your message for identifying your targets. And I thought it was really worth it for that. It was great. So I did those two this morning, and the one I just got out of was how to interface with trades, and it was a roundtable. So it was a couple of lighting designers and a GC and a moderator, and it was basically like a really good primer of what kind of stuff you should, how you can appeal better to those independent trades. And man, that's a great, to not have to figure that out in the field to be able to kind of get these insights.
To get a phone number from a GC that goes, here, call this guy. Here's the guy you need to talk to. Great. Thanks for the warm handoff. Appreciate that.
So that was really good too. And that was more for like my own edification. Like we had a really good rapport with our trades and stuff. And to see that information is being passed on to, other integrators was really good. But man, today was just a full day of education. The show floor was only open for a couple hours. I think it's open now, right? Closes at 5 or something like that.
Again, you'll see this, I would say posthumously, but hopefully we'll all live through this.
Yeah.
after the live recording of this, right? Like, we're recording it live, but yeah, it's end of the day one. I think I've seen a bunch of people show up here from out of market. So I feel like tomorrow is really going to be the big day.
Tomorrow will be the expo day. It'll be demos. There'll be all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, most of the
Parties, all
dealers
the
I talked to said they were coming Tuesday to do everything tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, that'll be, it'll be a different flavor tomorrow. It's nice. I feel like I knocked out all the education I have to do.
I only booked education for one day. I'm focusing my attention tomorrow is on growing business and meeting guys and learning all the things and going to events and going to dinners and breakfasts and whatever else we've got going. Like, it's pretty nuts, right? So, that everybody's like, oh, all you guys do is hang around and talk shop and BS. Like, it's not all we do.
I mean, that's most of what we do. That's kind
But it's part of it. That's kind of the point, right?
It is
talk
part of it,
shop.
for sure.
I mean,
we sit in entry conference rooms, getting more and more pissed off at vendors who we think are blowing them off until we realize that we've got the wrong date. And then we eat crow and go have terrible Italian sandwiches.
Yeah, it's the hangry factor is really related to the fact that I had the worst lunch today, and I'm hungrier after I ate it than I was when I started out. So hopefully this is coming through.
Which is why we felt it was important to do this podcast. Right?
do this now before it happens again.
The spiciness, similar to our ride in from Cedia from the airport. I was unhappy. Right.
You were unhappy. Those around us were unhappy.
Yeah, it was a lot going on.
It was good though. I have an eye for that sort of like I'm gonna make a reality show.
You're going to capture that.
Yeah, exactly.
To capture
For posterity. Right?
Because you can't smell the piss on a train, so you need to express that in a visual way and really get the full experience.
Watch the background of that video. It's amazing.
It is.
There's a lot.
I gotta cut that into shorts, just of people pulling down pantyhose.
Yeah, like there's some really.
Wow, I need to rewatch that.
So that is worth a rewatch.
I feel like the first time I watched it, I was like looking at myself and
don't do that.
like, what am I doing?
Well, like just pan the camera.
Free water bottle and pairs of shoes.
Look out the window on Chris's side of the train most of the time. That's really where the action was.
It was.
My side, there's not a lot going on over there, but Chris's side was woo.
For me, when I went back and watched it, it was a lot like when you go through the Haunted Mansion at Disney and you come up and like all of a sudden there's a thing in a reflection behind you and it's not really there. Well, no, this was very much there, and I didn't know it at the time, but there was a whole scene playing out that was just out of eye shot.
I mean, did you know that District 9 was actually shot in Denver or in the
outskirts of Denver?
Prawns. I saw some prawns, I'm sure. They were over your shoulder in that.
The woman eating cat food.
Oh, sure. It's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy.
But yeah, so we're I think we're gonna explore some more. We're gonna find something to eat, right? Is that?
Yeah, I think we're doing something.
I don't know why I just looked at my watch. It doesn't matter what time it is. If you're hungry, who gives a fuck?
We're all
eat when you're hungry.
We don't have to wait. We're not pets. We don't have to wait for somebody to feed.
Oh man, I would meow my face off though if I was.
We're at home. My family
empty again.
Pushing it around like my dog does. Just shove with paw in it, like wash.
Just trying to make you aware of the fact that this is empty.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you.
So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us, right?
First independent podcast. First little fucking run at this is kind of, we had some swear words. We
did.
We talked some real stuff. But, tangentially, affiliated with AV, and that's I think what we're going to continue to do on this. We even had Jesse on. I mean,
we had a guest. Give us credit.
It's a big move for two knuckleheads.
More views.
Yeah, we need more dudes for more views.
That's right. Dudes for views.
Yeah, maybe.
I've seen that channel.
That's a subscription site.
Oh no, right? You can't get Pornhub in Texas.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh, never mind.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't even try.
Oh. Even when you say yes, I'm 18.
Yeah. No. Well, it's an anti-state here for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's just the land of freedom.
All their shots right through my foot.
That's right.
So for Chris, Jayson, and Jesse, thanks for joining us, and we hope you like and subscribe on our new channel. And we'll see you soon.
You'll be back.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.